Hi everyone, this is Katie Groves, and in this video I'm going to do something a little bit different. I not too long ago made a video in which I relived MKUltra programming. In that video I recited numerical codes and jingles and sang some melodies that were used in my programming. And in this video, I would like to share with you guys a breakthrough that I've just had in my deprogramming process around this stuff, specifically the melodies, and sing what I have discovered to be the origins of some of the melodies that I sang in that video. I don't remember all of what I sang, but I know there was one in particular that has come up for me today as having had an origin that I think is different than certainly what I expected and what other people might have expected. One of the things that I've struggled with deeply is musical programming coming up and repeating over and over in my head, sometimes for days. It doesn't happen that badly anymore, but songs from my programming being stuck in my head and being repeated to the point of driving me to near madness is something that I've dealt with a lot, both before I started deprogramming myself in the way that I have been for the last 4 years and in the last 4 years since I woke up. And I have really come at those songs internally with the energy of anger and suspicion and aggression. I have hated having to deal with this music coming up, and I have labeled it as satanic and demonic, and truly failed a lot of the time to meet it with the energy of mindfulness that I know to be what actually dissolves mind control programs. So I've really been hindered in my process by my own anger towards the programs themselves. But today I had this experience where a part of me came forward and started singing the melodies from these programs in extremely soulful and beautiful voices. And memories started coming back to me about these melodies being sung to us by monks in Gregorian chant and in rituals in which the music itself was beautiful. This is in stark contrast to the way that the songs play out in my head on the surface in the programming, where they're very mechanical, they're very emotionless, except for this real energy of fear and trauma that, like I said, I have labeled as satanic or demonic a lot of the time and met with a lot of anger. I am not saying that what was done to me in this programming was ever good, and that it wasn't done by very violent, sadistic people. However, what I have discovered is that the original programs were installed in me around this music in ways that were intentionally designed to be beautiful to me as a small child. The chanting in the rituals with singers, both male and female, with incredible voices, was done in a way that it would truly speak to my spirit. I'm remembering these traumas happening around the ages of 4 or 5, although I'm sure it was done earlier. But the particular ones I'm remembering happened then. And I remember as a 4-year-old being deeply in love with the sound of the beautiful music. And this is how these core programs were installed. My love for the beautiful music and for the beautiful people singing them was manipulated. Over time, these melodies were repeated over and over again in ways that became increasingly traumatic and less beautiful. I don't want to trigger anyone by saying this, but it would be kind of like the illusion of a siren's call from mythology. And that is, of course, symbolism that has been extensively used in my programming as well as many other people's. But I want to be clear that I believe that the people who sang this stuff originally in the programs, I'm guessing that they were slaves and that they were singing from a true heart consciousness. I think it's a real misconception that people have that survivors who are enslaved in monarch mind control cannot emanate love or act out of love and loving energy. And that is just not true. And so what I want to convey in this video is that it is through the manipulation of a small child's love for beauty and nature, out of a small child's innocence. It is out of this innocence that children are manipulated in monarch mind control, that children are programmed. I don't know if that made sense. That kind of glitched out there. I went into a flashback for a second. So, noticing that I'm getting really triggered, what I'm going to do is I'm going to sing from these altars the songs as we remember them first being sung. And I want to demonstrate just how beautiful a program can originally be before it is twisted into something empty and meaningless that becomes a source of torture for a monarch slave. And I want to say that these songs could be very triggering for people. There are no words to them that I'm going to sing. I'm just going to sing the melodies as I originally heard them. So I want survivors to watch this with caution, if they choose to at all. all I'm going to be able to do for now. I'm sorry that my voice kind of broke in there, but it created all these intense body sensations for me. Like my hands are going numb and tingly, and I feel such an adrenaline rush, like so much just released. So I'm sorry for talking with my hands, moving them around so much, but I kind of can't control it. My nervous system feels all over the place, and I feel like I want to move my body in all sorts of strange ways to release the trauma. So I'm going to put my hands down, and I'm going to stop this here, and I'm going to go do the body work off camera so that I don't trigger anybody with it and reveal too much about my process more than I have. Okay, I hope that was informative for people. This was not really something meant to be experienced with the conscious mind, but more just something I wanted to demonstrate and show people on a heart level. Again, just how the best parts of us are what are manipulated, truly, in Monarch mind control.